Howdy, this is Lemmy with RevZilla TV, here to talk to you today about the Arlen Ness Cheap Shot Fuel Controller. You should be looking into a cheap shot if you need to adjust the fueling on your bike and you need to do it affordably. This thing is currently being made for a lot of big twin models and also some V-rods. Installation on this thing could be a little bit tricky for some of you. On our 3-beard scale, we're looking somewhere between 2 and 3 beards depending on what bike you have. Let's get right into the Arlen Ness Cheap Shot and talk about what makes this thing special. So, Arlen Ness does not make any bones about what this thing is. If you look right on here, this thing says big performance, small price, and that's really the goal they're shooting for. This is sort of a departure from Arlen Ness's normal way of doing things. Usually their stuff is super top tier with a price tag to match. However, with the Cheap Shot, they've taken a different tack. They're taking care of that guy who needs something bare bones, doesn't mind putting a little bit of work into it, needs to adjust his fueling, but doesn't necessarily have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to dump at the tuning process. So this thing is made by Dobeck Performance. They're a pretty respected name in terms of fuel controllers for Harley-Davidson, and this is a fairly simple unit to use. They're really cool. Those of you who have worked with carburetors before should have no problem with these. If you peel off the access cover on this thing, you get right in here, and there are these potentiometers here, and these allow adjustment of a few different things. You can see here the first 3 pots you see on here are going to allow you to adjust different circuits just like you would in a carburetor. So those of you who are familiar with your pilot or your main jet circuit, or perhaps the needle and clip position, these first 3 pots are going to allow you to dial those in. The final pot you see over there is RPM. So if you've thrown in a different cam, if you have a little different setup that's going to allow you to run a bit faster engine speed, you can actually raise your RPM limiter with this unit. Couple items of note though. This thing only allows the addition of fuel. It does not allow the removal of fuel. So if you were already a little rich in an area, this is not going to let you dial it back from your stock setting. Your stock setting is as lean as you are going to be able to go. This thing is not the most adjustable thing in the world. As you just saw, they're just these little pots. You're going to adjust them with a screwdriver. It's very simple. However, it's also very basic. Part of the joy of fuel injection is the fact that there's a lot of adjustability to be had there. You're not going to access it through the Cheap Shot. But again, consider the context in which this is being offered. This is hands down one of the cheapest ways to get your bike fueled correctly. So when you consider it in that sub $200 market, there's not even that much there to compete with it. So again, you're not getting all the features. This is for the fella who has a good amount of time, but maybe a little bit short on money. So in terms of installation, we had talked about this being a 2 to 3 bearder, again, depending on the bike. I'd like to get a little deeper into that. As you can see, this unit comes with just a bunch of wires. You need to make this work with your factory wiring harness. Again, you are going to have to cut your factory wiring harness. You are going to have to wire stuff in. That's not terribly difficult for those of you who are familiar with it. Again, it's just some simple electrical work, but they have you tap into your factory wiring harness with T-taps. On a personal level, I've had very bad luck with T-taps. I don't love them. I think a good upgrade to this product on the side, if you happen to be doing this, are maybe some step-down butt connectors that would allow you to go 2 wires into 1. It would make this product, in my mind, almost a perfect one, again, given the budget. If you're comfortable with that electrical work, I don't think that this is going to be a bad choice for you. This is something that is going to, again, get you in the ballpark with your fuel if you are a little bit short on cash. I know I've done the buy an air cleaner, buy an exhaust route, and then I find that I'm out over $1,000 and I don't have any money left for some sort of a fuel controller. I think this is also going to be a good product for those people who maybe are dragging out, I don't want to say a barn find, but at this point the twin cam is old enough. There are some older twin cams out there, and it might not be worth throwing $500, $600, $700 at the fueling system of a bike that at this point could be almost 15, 20 years old, depending on when you're watching this video. I think this is a really cool product. I like what Arlen Ness has done. I like that they've taken a different tack and they're taking care of a different end of the market. This is definitely a different product that sets itself apart with its price point. That having been said, there's other riders who have this thing and they've been rocking them for a while. Click below, check out some of their rider reviews, see what they have to say about the Cheap Shot. If you got questions that I didn't get to, give us a holler. You can get a Gear Geek by email, cs@revzilla.com, or you can always get us by phone, 877-792-9455. I'm Lemmy, I'm out of here.